Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous, they'll linger in the dark. Climb from below, temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms, what is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life for my people. Can my kingdom point the way? That's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher the highest height and the lower the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen. My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen.
Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind. Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous, they'll linger in the dark. Climb from below, temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms, what is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life for my people. Can my kingdom point the way? That's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher the highest height and the lower the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and abyss come to your sacred.
All right, so introduce your name, what team you're on, the kingdom you're in, and what realm you're from.
Yeah, I'm Fish. I'm player, migration leader, and nerf lover of 1960. I'm playing in 60 GT in Anubis realm. I'm a main player and I'm playing mostly an open field focused role in the team.
Hi, my name is Night King. I'm leading BLN and I'm from 365 Kingdom of Sura.
My name is Bug and my team is 89 VC. We're from the Kingdom 2489 and we are in Bastet. Right?
Hey guys, what's going on? I go by the name Black Panther. I'm from Kingdom 2268 of Alliance SV68. I'm currently in Realm of Anubis.
Hey, we're Baby Raccoon and Choppy, leading Sobek Real Team, Galax Ltd in Kingdom 2949.
My name is Cortex, I'm the leader of SW in Kingdom 2605 in the realm of Bastet.
I'm Khan, I'm the king of K79. Our team is S79, which is a combined of all of our best players in the realm. It's not just one alliance. Our kingdom is 1079, and we are part of the oldest realm of Osiris, so we've been here from the start.
What are your initial thoughts to the new Ark of Osiris changes with Raging Sands modes being introduced?
So originally my thoughts were I wasn't sure how I was going to like it or not, but I have to say after playing several matches, I really do like it, and I think it adds a lot of tactical plans that you couldn't do when everyone could see the entire map.
I like it. I really like the graphic and I really like the new skills. And then does the fog make it a little bit more challenging? I mean, I like the changing.
Well, I like the changes a lot. I think the fog makes stuff a lot more interesting. Strategies become a lot more unpredictable and surprise victories seem a little bit more likely in the season.
What do you want to say to your opponents?
We're coming. Winter's coming. Good luck to everybody. Hope everybody enjoys it. And I'm looking forward to meet some of these teams with a new mode.
Yeah, I better lose.
We're still a very young team, but everyone's been doing extremely well, and we have a very good group. You should not underestimate us, and we'll definitely show what we're made of this a while.
Go easy on us. Come on now. We're all friends here. But be ready for the challenges.
I want to say congratulations first off. They obviously had to work incredibly hard to get here. No one's in the top 32 that isn't a good team, even if some bad luck before. I hope we have a good match when we play you.
To my opponents, I guess I'll just say good luck and have fun.
As you made it to playoffs, this is where it gets serious. We will do our best to perform as good as we can, and we hope you guys give us the return. Let's see some very competitive matches, show the other kingdoms what the upcoming ones can do and are capable of. Let's have a good time.
Hello, governors. Welcome to Osiris League Season 7, Top 32, Group Stage Week 2. I'm your host, Plato Gaming, content creator and caster for Rise of Kingdoms. And this match we will be watching is 1188 versus 93L. Both teams won their previous games, meaning that whoever wins this game will be the favorites to make it out of the group, being at a solid 2-0 scoreline. So for context, 1188 won their match against RYF from Kingdom 1473, with RYF only scoring 42 points to 1188's 83,586. So it was it was pretty one-sided in that match. But in the other hand, 93L also won their match against S797 in a convincing fashion as well, winning 55,718 points to 16,818 points. So the other match actually already played, with S797 winning against RYF by less than 1k. So both of those teams are pretty evenly matched. It'll be really interesting to see how 1188s and 93L match up in this match today. For context, 93L went 0-3 last season. So and 1188 also went 1-2. So both teams did not make it to the playoffs last season. So this will kind of be another another step towards their progression to making their way back to the playoffs. And we'll have to see who will take that extra step as we go into the match here. It's pretty interesting. because 1188 has a huge power advantage at 4 billion power compared to 93L's 2.6 billion, making 1188 the betting favorites in the league bets. So 1188 is favored, but who knows, we might be able to see an upset, especially with this Raging Sands game mode where everything's not as predictable. So we will have to see the strategies that 93L and 1188 opt to go into. So let's go into the game here. We actually have 69.9% going towards 1188 being the favorites for this match. As we can see, they are all pretty highly powered, averaging at around 1 million power each, being at 4 billion power altogether as a team, compared to 93L and 1093, really strong KD and KVKs. I think they also have other teams, so this might not be even their main team. So we'll have to see how 93L holds up against 1188. But as we can see, there are some 80 million power players. They will definitely have to use up some healing speeds so that they can continue fighting with T5 throughout the match. But it should be pretty interesting. Again, what we are going to be looking for is introductory rallies. We're going to be looking at if they rally the outposts, what obelisks each team rallies. We're going to be looking at initial sentry placement, and overall kind of like what the strategy is for both teams. I believe we both have, they both have, all 30 players in, so it should be an interesting and fun match. And again, this is for the 2-0 scoreline, the coveted 2-0 scoreline, because if you, the top 2 teams from each group get to make it to playoffs. So being 2-0, you pretty much are, you're not guaranteed, but you're very close to it. So we'll have to see how each team responds here. And as the gates open, we got 93L speeding out with their cavalry march with double C. Double C being the fastest, with T1 so that they can get to their outposts and their obelisks on time. So as we see the same thing going on with 1188s on their side. 1188s, it looks like they only have one T1 march, which is pretty interesting to open with. So they will be able to capture this top one pretty fast, but this bottom obelisk might be a couple seconds delayed. We'll have to see. Oh, never mind. This guy is just so speedy, I missed him. There you go. And we got hidden sentry placed by 1188. Wow, very interesting placements right in between the desert altar, their desert altar, and the opponent's shrine of war. Let's go check out the vision range of Iset. Where's Iset? Iset? There you go. A vision range of Iset. So they should be able to see when marches are walking up. Let's go. And the marches will be walking up here. As we can see, we got the Ethelfled starting to walk up towards the desert altar. And of course, as usual, the desert altar will be the point of contention for both teams, as we see 93L also putting their sentry close to the desert altar to see what happens, to see how many marches are going to be contested, because it's a pressure game. Getting as much information as you can is super important, so that you can respond with as much troops or as little troops as you can. Because if you over respond to one area, then that's going to leave a weak point in another area. Let's go check out the rallies. As we can see, they both actually have some outpost rallies. It looks like 1188 opted into more outpost rallies. I think that's all 3 outposts actually being rallied on their side. And then on 93L's side, they went with 1 outpost rally, with the other rallies being the obelisk rallies. So we'll have to see what happens, and if that proves to be anything of value, if 1188 is able to capture those outposts early, or if they're using those for transport rallies, as we see 93L's rally by Monster Mochi going past this desert altar. They actually, there you go, they canceled the rally It looks like they are starting to try to posture around this Desert Altar, but 1188's already here. Look at that. Look at all the cavalry that 1188 has. So much cavalry walking up. And this is why cavalry is so strong, is because you get to get that early positioning. But as I say that, we see some of the 93L marches walking up. We actually see an infantry march up here and some archer marches. So, yeah, we will be able to see a fight around this Desert Altar. It looks like, oh no, this 93L march is getting swarmed down over here. I think 93L is at the disadvantage here because they have less marches. The Desert Altar is closer to 1188's side, so they were able to get here faster, but it doesn't help because it doesn't help as much for 93L because their marches are still coming in here. Their marches are still trying to get to this Desert Altar. It looks like 1188 will be able to capture and be able to hold this Desert Altar. There is still 70 seconds left until Desert Altar is open. Let us go check the 93L Desert Altar, where, wow, yeah, there you go. This is what 1188 seems to be having this open field advantage like crazy over here, pushing past this Desert Altar. And this is what you want to do, is you want to make sure, if you are trying to capture the Desert Altar, that you create space around the Desert Altar. You want to push towards the opponent's side so that they will not have the opportunity to actually go into this Desert Altar and, you know, put a garrison in there and try to get the first capture points, which we saw is actually 750 points overall. It does look like 1188 is winning this open field fight, but we do see some teleports coming through from 93L as their obelisk has finally finished ticking down. And it looks like they will be able to reinforce, but I don't know if it'll be on time. There's 11 seconds left on this Desert Altar without any 93L around it. They do have a little contingent over here trying to push up to this Desert Altar, trying to be the first ones to go in. Oh, it looks like 1188 was able to put their Flavius in there. Oh, that is so bad for 93L. That is really, really bad because they got the garrison in. They don't have the open field. So they'll definitely need to rally and regroup around that rally to try to take this Desert Altar. Although they were able to take the opponent Desert Altar over here, so they were able to at least trade it and delay the points from 1188 and catching their Desert Altar. And they were actually able to capture this Sky Altar. So it's not like they were able to take this Desert Altar for free. There were some objectives traded, but it does look like 1188 will be able to at least recapture this Sky Altar. They did already recapture the Desert Altar. So we will have to see if 93L will be able to contest this Desert Altar and try to take it before the timer ticks down. Because if this timer ticks down, that is 700 plus 750 points for 1188, as they also captured their shrine over here, the Shrine of War. That is going to be retaken soon. We do see a sentry over here by 93L being able to see all the reinforcements. So they are for sure trying to focus around this Desert Altar because they want as much vision as possible to see how many troops are being sent to this Desert Altar. And as I was talking about the outpost rallies, if we check the outposts, they have been captured as well. So that's minus 90 points per minute. It's actually going to be plus 90 points for 1188, which will stack up over time. There's just so many pressure points that 1188 is putting on 93L, where 93L will have to pick and choose the battles that they want to fight, the objectives that they want to fight over, or else they will just be broken apart here. Although the other outposts, are also being captured. But here we go. We got the rally. Is this rally going to... No, the rally is not going to the Desert Altar, actually. I wonder if there is a Desert Altar rally hitting. It's kind of hard to decipher. It looks like they are swarming the Desert Altar, though. And it is going to yellow. So maybe, just maybe, they got 40 seconds left on this Desert Altar. It looks like this Desert Altar is actually going to delay the mid push, the mid fight, the mid rotation from 93L. So we'll have to see if that will play a part for this first mid fight that will be in 4 minutes 40 seconds. But look at that, they are march swapping like crazy in 1188, And in case you guys don't know, we saw this last match at 13 UTC. March swapping is so crucial if you are defending an obelisk that you have captured, or a structure that you've captured from your opponent, so that you can keep it as healthy as possible. But here we go. 93L was able to recapture their desert altar. They're able to secure it before the first points went. Oh, they weren't able to secure it. Wow, I did not think that 1188 had enough marches around this desert altar to recapture it, but it looks like they're able to swarm it down, and they are actually going towards the rally leader. They're starting to swarm down this garrison leader, with this Jan out in the open field. They want to make sure this Jan gets into this desert altar as fast as possible so that they have a garrison. Was the Jan able to get in? No, the Jan's still outside. The Jan's still outside. They're just swarming down the Jan. Jan Heraclius is a very good garrison, but it's not a very good open field march, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, there you go. This Jan's sleeping. You should be going into this desert altar. Oh, they're starting to walk now. There you go. Now they're in the desert altar. And we'll see if, there you go, the march swapped. I think this desert altar should be good. Oh my goodness, that desert altar actually switched sides so many times. Let's see if all the other structures were able to get captured. It looks like the first points are in favor of 1188 just for now, but you have to keep in mind the 93L wasn't able to get the desert altar points. And wow, there you go. We actually have the middle being the middle placements of the murder ball actually in 93L's favor. Very interesting. I thought with the distraction from the desert altar that they would actually not be favored, but it looks like their murder ball is actually pushing up, and 1188 is actually having the call to push back their murder ball, allowing for 93L to take the space to the left side of the Temple of Osiris, which is huge. You want to make sure that your opponents do not have any presence around this Temple of Osiris so that your arc carriers will be able to capture them as fast as possible. And wow, look at this. They are moving back so far. Are they actually sacking this arc? Is this like a ruse? Are they? I don't see as many people walking. There's actually a lot of people around this desert altar. Maybe I'm curious as to why they're not swarming down this desert altar. There's still first points in play here. If they are able to take it out, and maybe they're just waiting for the rally and swarming with the rally, that might be a possibility. But there are still 750 points at play, and it looks like this rally will not be able to hold. And the sky altar is also going to be swarmed down, and then this mid fight, there is no mid fight. There's literally no fight for mid in 1188 side. So it looks like they are trying to do this structure focused type of approach here, where they are trying to make sure that 93L is not able to capture this desert altar, and that they are able to get the first points for themselves. And look at that, it's getting chunked down. I think there's around 10-11 marches swarming down this desert altar. There is still no first cap for this desert altar, so there you go. And we got dust up from both sides, I believe. Yeah, there you go. It looks like 93L is realizing that, yeah, this is there's barely any open field marches here, so this mid fight might be for free. Let's go back. Let's go try to capture some structures. And wow, they got a Zenobia inside of that desert altar. I believe it's an infantry rally that just hit it, so the Zenobia was probably hiding within the infantry rally, allowing for it to be transported. And wow, what is going on here? 1188 is pushing with their murder ball. 93L seems to be like, oh yeah, we won this mid fight, but no, they still have people here, guys. We still need to secure this Temple of Osiris. It actually looks like 1188 is favored for this mid fight because 93L decided, oh yeah, we already have position. It looks like they don't have enough people, and look at this late rotation coming from the south. It looks like 1188 do have some marches from the south here, able to cut off some reinforcements that are coming in. And 1188 with this mid fight secure the arc. The arc just spawned. Let's see if 93L is able to at least pull it towards their side. But it looks like no one's actually trying to capture the arc, is there? Oh, there you go. 1188 was finally able to capture the arc, and they are moving left. They're moving west towards their shrine. Oh, the arc was actually dropped? No, the arc is still moving. It looks like there are no 93L marches around, so that was pretty questionable by 93L in my opinion. Having the mid advantage, just dispersing around. I believe we had some people move over to the desert altar. I believe we had some people move over to the outposts. But because of that, they actually lost their middle advantage. It looks like they're trying to contest this arc. We'll see if there's any crazy steals like what happened last game, where they use the teleportation ability. I believe it's called Master Strategies. I don't even know if they have that on their skill bar, so we'll have to see what happens. But they will definitely be shooting them. They shot themselves in the foot there, and they'll, be looking at that in post, being like, oh yeah, we could have done something with that arc. Because yeah, this arc is going towards this Shrine of War, but they are contesting the Shrine of War. We do have some marches here, 5 marches plus a rally. This is not going to go uncontested here. We'll have to see how many extra marches, if any, are going to be moving over towards this Shrine of War. This Desert Altar, I still don't know if first points were actually taken by this Desert Altar with the amount of times it switched sides. With the other altars, it looks like, wow, yeah, 1188 do have control of all 4 altars. They have control of the arc. What they don't have control of is this Shrine of War that they're actually walking the arc to. So we'll have to see what happens here, if they plan to move it past towards, it looks like you could see the yellow line, they're moving towards the obelisk, or at least a city near the bottom their bottom obelisk. The arc was actually dropped here. But yeah, it looks like with the amount of open field that 93L has, yeah, they're not going to be able to contest this arc. It looks like 1188 will be able to swarm down the Shrine of War. They will be able to secure this arc. Looks like there's going to be no Master Strategy shenanigans this game. And yeah, it looks like the point differential actually stabilized though, with 1188 getting 420 points versus the 290 of 93L. Man, this Desert Altar has been under contention for so long. I'm curious to see. I'm gonna keep my eye on this Desert Altar. If they actually capture this Desert Altar, will the points start ticking? And will they get the 750, or was that already taken by somebody? Maybe they already took it. I wasn't able to keep track. There's just so much going on in this map. And the opponent that is a Desert Altar over here, the 1188 Desert Altar, is also being contested. It looks like there is a rally. Yep, it is a Henry with Liang. Same rally pair that we've been seeing throughout these matches. So keep that in mind. Henry, Liang, very, very strong rally pair. The arc is uncontested, so we don't have to keep an eye on that. Wow, it looks like they actually cleared the open field around 93L's Desert Altar and around their own Desert Altar as well. So they're starting to push up towards the Shrine of War. It looks like some people are actually pushing up towards the Sky Altar as well. We'll have to see what happens there. And I'm kind of curious as to, this is a lot of discipline by 1188. I guess they want to keep their marches as healthy as possible. Let the rally tank and swarm with the rally. As a march, you don't want to tank. I mean, it's best if the rally tanks, because it has more troops inside of it, meaning the trades will be better compared to, of course, one open field march. But there you go, the rally hits, and there you go. That is the game plan from 1188. Just wait for the rally and swarm with the rally. Very, very disciplined. I'm gonna guess that they had like a swarm now kind of marker or call in voice. And yeah, this Desert Altar is going down and switching hands yet again. I don't even know how many times this Desert Altar, I guess we could check with how many times. Look how many fights has been around this Desert Altar already in just 20 minutes of action. This has been the hot spot for sure for both teams. Let's see what's going on with the Sky Altar. Sky Altar seems to be getting contested, but I don't think they will be able to capture this with the amount of marches walking up. They have the backup garrison walking up as well. And if we check the arc is actually being held. Yes, this is perfect. You do not want to hold your arc next to the obelisk, because your opponents can potentially capture the obelisk and capture the arc. You could actually capture an arc into a city, which is why they are, spreading, standing in between cities. So in case someone does try to take it, they can just walk into a city. as we go back to the Sky Altar. The Sky Altar is actually going to fall. Wow. Okay, wait. We got some garrisons coming in. We got some reinforcements coming in. And I like the focus that they have here. They're like, yeah, even though we could be swarming down these swarmers and all that kind of stuff, we need to keep this Sky Altar as full as possible. We need to make sure that it, has the troops to stay up. And even though it falls, the people that were able to go into the Sky Altar at least allowed for points to tick over for a couple more seconds, and that might have been the difference between getting 150 points that minute or not getting 150 points that minute. And it looks like the Desert Altar, in this case, they are putting a lot of marches around this Desert Altar. They're like, yeah, we are committing to this Desert Altar. We want this Desert Altar. So we are going to make sure that we have our open field around it. And they don't have to worry about mid. The good thing about having Arc is you dictate when mid starts. So you can hold it for as long as possible. And then once your marches are starting to refresh, or you feel like you have a good timer, then you can start capturing the Ark of Osiris and doing all of that stuff. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see what happens in that case. And yeah, it's really interesting to see that 93L is pushing towards this Desert Altar. I don't know if they'll be able to capture it before points start ticking over. And I'm still curious. Is this the first cap of this Desert Altar? We'll check. We'll stay around here. 35 seconds left for the Desert Altar to tick over to 1188 side. We'll have to check the points as soon as it ticks over. It's 750 points for first cap. I might be making a big deal out of nothing, and maybe first cap was already done, but I'm pretty curious. This is going to be the first time for me seeing the Desert Altar actually start providing some points for either side. But it does look like, yeah, we do have 93L. 93L is pushing back. They are starting to, make some room around this Desert Altar. Let's go see. 2, 1. Oh, it was first capture. Oh my goodness. So 750 points goes to 1188. First capping the opponent Desert Altar, which is a huge amount of points. 750 is like half an arc, guys. Half an arc going over to 1188 side. And they are able to get points per minute for as long as they're able to capture this. There is a Tariq Pakal hitting this Desert Altar. As we update you with the other sides of the map, the Sky Altar is going down, and then the Sky Altar on this side is being contested. But yeah, this rally over here, they're finally trying to capture this Desert Altar, but it's too late. They already got the 750 points and they're ready to dip. Everything else is just extra at this point from 1188. A huge capture from their side, even cementing their lead even further. It does look like, yeah, it's holding for so long. Flavius is a strong garrison. The only problem with Flavius is transporting him. He is an infantry march. You don't want to put march speed on Flavius because, you want as many stats as possible for a garrison. So having that infantry rally transport Flavius so that he can get into the Desert Altar was genius by 1188 on their side. But it does look like 93L, they finally got their Desert Altar. Maybe they'll actually be able to get some points from it. But look at this. Look at the 1188 marches. If I see this amount of marches going towards the Desert Altar, you could kind of predict from 93L's part that, yeah, they're not planning to capture this arc anytime soon because they are committing heavy towards the structure game. They still have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left of holding this arc. And they have the keys. They have control of the tempo of the game, which is huge for them. They could, dictate whether there's going to be mid-fight or not, which is going to be very, very big. Although there are, I was about to say, 93L did have 3 altars, but they in 1188 was able to recapture the Desert Altar. Garrison swapping to Heraclius primary. There you go. It does look like 93L is getting sad-faced off of this Desert Altar. So very, very interesting stuff from both sides. They're able to recapture the Shrine of War. So all the structures are actually finally in the line of scrimmage. I feel like both lines, but there's always been like one side favored, another side favored. Now all structures belong to each respective side. As I say that, they capture the outpost, but you know what I mean. There's this line of scrimmage. That is happening, and it does look like, yeah, this is a plan from 1188, which I don't really see too often, where 1188 pushes the open field down and wipes their open field and waits for the rally, and then goes back and swarms with the rally. It does allow them to trade more positively. It does allow them to keep their marches more healthy. But what I'm curious about is that it does, what it does do is it gives a little bit more time. For example, the Desert Altar could be like half health right now or something. But yeah, I guess they just want to make sure that the rally hits and tanks so that their open field marches could just keep the opponent's open field marches at bay, which, kind of makes sense in its own right. And there you go. We got the rally starting to hit at 10 seconds. Come on. They just captured the Desert Altar. They just started getting points like a minute ago. So and now they're starting, the Desert Altar siege starts again, where 993L is going to get sieged. It is a Tariq Pakal versus a Jan Heraclius garrison. Let's see how this trades. It looks like, yeah, they do have some swarmers. It's not getting fully swarmed though. As soon as I say that, the bottom team, the team holding off the open field, starts fully swarming, and yeah, there you go. Super healthy rally, super dead Desert Altar, and there you go. Back in 1188's hands, although they did concede their Sky Altar. So the Sky Altar has actually been going back and forth here, which is allowing for 93L to at least keep the points kind of even. 360 points for 1188, 330 points for 93L. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if that will prove anything, if that will have any effect. But and on the other hand, their Sky Altar was captured, and this Desert Altar is probably not going to be taken. I like the discipline they have here, just filling it up. They know that there's no swarm marches around this Desert Altar, so they're just like, yeah, just fill with marches. Like, I don't know if the rally can't beat the garrison 1v1 if the garrison's getting filled. So good stuff there. Not over pressuring, not over rotating, because the Desert Altar is being rallied. If I take a deep breath here, 1188 looks very disciplined. With the fact that they're able to, not have anyone swarm until the rally hits. The fact that no one over here, I mean, they do have some people swarming, but they're on the way there anyways. They do have people walking past. Look at this, walking past the rally instead of swarming it, because they know their time is better spent exerting pressure onto the opponent's side of the map, and just like, okay, yeah, if you need a garrison swap, if you need to be filled, it's going to fill you. We don't need. And the thing that's really interesting too is that you have to keep in mind they had to fill the garrison with marches as well. So what this does, it all the marches inside of this of this rally, I mean, is actually, preoccupied with rallying instead of, maybe potentially being an open field march. So big stuff from them. As I take a drink of water, the Ark was captured by 1188. So the Ark will spawn in 8 minutes. It looks like, yeah, they were like, yeah, this is time. We can make this a 2 Ark match. And they're just playing the structure game very well here. Just understanding that Ark of Osiris, and essentially this game as a whole, Rise of Kingdoms, is a game about pressure, right? It's about exerting pressure. It's about allocating resources to specific areas. And yeah, they're definitely playing as a unit here, where it's like, yeah, we don't need to allocate resources here. We can go, start pushing towards a Shrine of War. And kind of, if you push, that means that the opponents, the marches over here, all these 93L marches could have been around the Desert Altar to reinforce, for example, to reinforce the rally. But instead, they are held up in between the Shrine of War and the Desert Altar, trying to, push forward against the marches that are pushed up. So it does look like 1188 did capture the Sky Altar. They were gaining some points here. So 93L is making it their objective with a Boudica primary. Wow, I haven't seen a Boudica primary in Ark yet, but Boudica with Liang does a lot of scale damage. If you feel like you have the open field advantage, yeah, there you go. If you feel like you have the open field advantage and they can't swarm down your rally, Boudica Liang probably does, I would say, does the most scale damage out of a rally because a single target from Boudica with the scale damage taken buff with the Liang nuke allows you to just melt a structure or whatever you're trying to rally. That's actually my open field march. So there you go. It does look like, yeah, 1188 is doing very, very well with keeping their opponents preoccupied, keeping their opponents away from the objectives. And this is something that you can see because like you barely see any 93L marches. There's no 93L march available to actually, back up this rally over here, and they actually have to fight through and just take the AoE through the murder ball that 1188 was able to create here, with again a Tariq Pakal, very classic, versus a Flavius, I'm guessing with Flavius with Heraclius, infantry on infantry crime over here. But it does look like 1188. Oh wow, the garrison is going down though. The garrison is going down, but 1188, it looks like they have the go to swarm down this rally. We do see some marches swarming down the rally over here. It is a pretty punishing rally to swarm though. I'm pretty curious to see. Yeah, there you go. They are march swapping, so they are keeping this garrison topped off with as many troops as possible. But yeah, it does look like 1188. Oh, never mind. 1188 has a lot of open field around here. They have a lot of open field around here, actually. They are pretty low, though. They are pretty low. So yeah, we have some 1188 marches trying to push up. And this is what happens when 1188 doesn't have this murder ball around here, is that 93L is able to push up towards this desert altar and actually continue to swarm it. They're continuing to swarm it. Will it go down? Yes, it did. I had to hold my breath there. 93L were able to recapture their desert altar. This is the objective of the match with how many times this desert altar has flipped. Huge stuff. But yeah, it looks like 1188 is swarming this. It is an XY. XY very, very swarmable. You do not want to garrison with XY. And Nevsky is better. Nevsky is more defensible, but still not a garrison cap. I'm pretty curious to see where the garrison is for 93L. It does look like they have a filler march here, but they don't have a garrison captain to fill. Yeah, they're just going to beeline here with the Matilda. Yeah, you're not gathering, so you are definitely filling. Let's see if the filler march is able to get in there. The Matilda, if you see Matilda out in the open field, the reason why it's such a good filler march is because it gives you increased troop capacity, allowing you to stuff even more troops in there per march, which is why the Matilda was there. It looks like 93L was able to cap. Let's check the middle, because the middle will be the big point of contention. 3 minutes 30 seconds on the arc spawn. It looks like, there you go, the scouting march. I'm pretty curious to, I was about to say, I'm like, why are they walking up so much when they have a sentry? Maybe that's a strat, like walk up with a march, make it look like you don't have vision, but you really do. I thought that was like some meta game playing, but yeah, there you go. And we do have the reverse scout march with a 93L march starting to poke. Is this a ghost march? No, yeah, it is a ghost march. I was about to say, I'm like, whoa, this guy is ballsy, but yeah, it looks like everything's good. 93L actually has less open field. I feel like they've been pretty preoccupied with this desert altar, with the sky altar. And the thing about the sky altar that's really daunting is if you are getting contested with the sky altar, it's very, very tough to rotate to mid. It's so far away from mid. So all of these marches over here that 93L are bringing over, and all the marches that are contesting this, will not be available for this mid fight. So we will have to see how this goes. In terms of the murder ball, I would say that 1188 does have more troops available in the middle. But it does look like 93L is starting to rotate over. And oh wow, there you go. 1188 is actually going for the structure. Look at this. Look at how much open field is here. This is like 4 or 5, like 3-4 players over here with a rally, with a Tariq Pakal, with the Flavius Garrison inside. It looks like, yeah, they're like, yeah, we could both do the structure game and the mid game. And this is essentially what they did last time too. So they're gonna win out. Oh, there you go. They're actually responding actually You have 93L marches starting to respond. They're actually rotating from mid, which I'm not too sure. They're kind of getting split here, and that's what I was talking about. It's a pressure game. It's all about allocating your resources and allocating your team's marches towards an objective. But it looks like even though they brought marches here, it's going down anyways. This Desert Altar is going down anyways. So they brought some marches from mid. Like, these marches were probably supposed to go mid, but now they're going towards the Desert Altar. And now that's even less marches mid for a structure, for an objective that you lost regardless. So I'm pretty curious to see how that will impact the mid fight, to see if they will be able to recover this arc with 1 minute left. There is for sure going to be a fight coming soon, but I'm curious to see who's going to start it, because it looks like, this is exactly what happened last arc, where they were able to capture the objective, they're able to wipe the open field, and now they're going to start wrapping around, maybe from both sides. They have a murder ball here, able to just keep this murder ball honest, but they also have some troops coming, wrapping around from the objectives that they're able to capture, to be able to contest a mid carry. Even if they get the arc, they're going to have such a big murder ball behind them that the arc carrier will have to go through. So it's a pretty interesting. We got total vision from 93L, giving them increased attack damage, and also and to the death. Okay, increased attack damage and to the death. So even more all damage for 93L. It looks like, there you go. 1188 is dispersing. Very, very interesting strategy, because if you pop your skills but they don't fight you, then your skills aren't really being used, right? They're doing the duck and cover, I guess, type of strategy here. And 93L, I'm curious to see why they're not capping this arc. Like, is there anyone tapping this arc? I don't see anyone tapping this arc. Where's their arc carrier? Are they planning to go to the outpost? Are they planning to go to the opponent outpost? Because they see the murder balls on the side here. They're like, our structures are getting taken. Oh no, they're walking back. Oh wow, okay. I was like, there's so many people walking up here. There's no reason to be fighting here, because you have the arc. I guess it's to delay them. A very, very split focus here, and that's really interesting from 1188. 1188 is literally picking them apart, making them choose and make the decisions, and trying to, I guess, play around the cracks, play around the mistakes that 93L might make because of the amount of decision making. If it was just a straight up mid fight, it's, very obvious what you're supposed to do. You go here, you fight, you try to get the arc. But now look at this, exactly what I was talking about. The 1188 marches from the bottom lane are starting to walk over. They don't even have the Shrine of War. Oh, now they do. They were able to recapture their Shrine of War. But 1188 marches here. I'm curious to see. Look at this. Oh my gosh, they are getting sandwiched. It is a blue and red sandwich going on over here with the murder ball coming through. And the skills, I don't know how long the skills last. Maybe some of the marches don't even have them anymore. They were able to drop the Ark of Osiris. It does look like, now this is a back and forth here, with 1188 starting to push over, 1093 or 93L starting to move over as well. This is so crucial for 93L to capture, because if they're able to, capture this arc, force a third arc, they might be able to come back into this game with the amount of points it gains, as well as provisioning. We'll have to see. It looks like 1188 has been so on point with these arc captures, with just tapping the arc, like inching it over, moving it over little by little. I'm curious to see if 93L is also doing the same, because there you go, 93L was able to tap it, but instantly gets deleted. It looks like the sad faces are actually pretty even. If I were to say, it's probably a little bit favored towards the 1188 side. There's more sad faces going towards the 93L side. But look at this. Wow, the reinforcements have come. There you go. We got the 93L reinforcements coming towards this mid fight. They are focusing this arc that was able to do a little bit of a breakaway here. They were able to pull it back just a little bit, but the 93L marches coming from the bottom lane were able to come through and try to disrupt this arc as much as possible. As you can see, it's all hands on deck from 1188. We got a Jan Heraclius open field march coming here because that's just how committed they are to this arc. They were able to recap it again. They are able to... Is this a breakaway? Are they starting to walk away a little bit? We'll have to see. It's the carrier is super low. It is an infantry march as well. Okay, they're able to walk it for about 5 seconds. Yeah, this is the type of mid fights that you like to see. The type of mid fights where you just consistently send marches mid. And the meanwhile, it does look like 1188 was able to capture the Desert Altar. So we'll have to see if they're gonna do the old switcheroo where they start following the reverse sandwich, where they start following the opponents. But it does look like they have a breakaway here with the Joan and Nevsky. And it does look like the 93L push has been stunted, has been halted, with 1188 being able to take the arc and have this breakaway. It looks pretty safe. I don't see any 93L marches coming from the side. There's some marches trying to, but 1188 knows those marches are there. They are swarming them down, and they are bringing some protection marches here to make sure that this arc is actually speeding. Look at this. This arc carrier definitely has some windswept or has some kind of movement speed on their build, because it's almost as fast as a normal cavalry march. When, if you don't know, arcs actually they decrease the amount of movement speed each march has, and they also increase the amount of damage you take. So this arc is actually moving super fast, and it does look like 1188 is able to capture this arc, is able to secure the arc, and can dictate if they want to redo this mid fight or just keep winning the structure game, because they were able to take the Desert Altar here. They are actually pushing onto the buildings of 93L. I don't really see the merit behind doing this except for keeping marches around this area. I guess it does make 93L unable to contest this Desert Altar if their marches are getting swarmed down as soon as they get out of their cities. As we go back to the arc here, the arc carrier is getting pretty low. There are 3 marches of 93L, and there you go. It does go down. Even with the Speedy Gonzalez arc carrier, the arc carrier was able to be caught, but it does look like 1188 do have enough marches here to contest this arc. It does look like 93L though is putting a lot of resources, a lot of troops towards at least delaying the arc as much as possible here. But yeah, they are taking a free beating. The thing is, if you're attacking a moving march, you're still able to do skill damage procs, but if you're getting attacked while you are moving, you do not get to do skill damage. So it's like they are getting damage for free walking through these murder balls, as these murder balls are just hammering on them. It does look like this time, this is the breakaway that they needed. All the marches walking towards them are super red. This is just free points for them. It does look like they are finally moving back and giving up on this arc. Very highly contested. 93L actually had the advantage there, but just 1188 rotating over. They were able to rotate from the shrine that they captured to contest and slow down the arc to let their murder ball, the 1188 murder ball, catch up and start contesting and eventually capturing and gaining control of the arc. So 1188, it does look like the Desert Altar that they captured is being contested here, but it does look like the 93L marches do not have a rally set on this actually. Oh, they actually captured. Okay. So there is going to be a third arc, but there's only going to be 6 minutes left. I guess they're pretty confident with their mid fights, especially with how both of the arc fights have gone so far in this match. So they're like, okay, if we could capture a Desert Altar and win mid and also capture a Sky Altar at the same time, I guess you could capture mid. And whoa. Obelisk? Hello? Okay, we'll have to see if that amounts to anything. 1188 is trying to contest or trying to hold on to this Desert Altar, but it does look like they have enough open field to do so. The one-on-one garrison matchup over here with archers versus cavalry. Yeah, it's just looking really, really good. Like they're not committing any marches up here because they know that their garrison will win. It does look like, yeah, they're gonna start conceding the Sky Altar, but that's okay. They're denying points from 93L at this point. And look at that point differential. Oh my goodness. 870 points to 290 points is pretty crazy with a 14k point differential. Is huge stuff. And here we go. We finally got a rally from 93L going towards this Desert Altar. I'm going to be pretty curious to see, with the amount of swarming that they've been doing, if they're going to be able to knock the captain out, because that's the biggest thing. If the captain gets knocked down, there's no backup, then this Desert Altar is going to be hard to hold. We'll have to see. It is a Tariq with Pakal versus a Flavius with Heraclius. It's around number infinity versus these two marches. It feels like they've been fighting each other over and over and over again. It's really interesting to see that 1188 is able to hold this Desert Altar so frequently. And I haven't really seen that strategy where they hold the murder ball here. Usually like you just see them walk mid or something, but yeah, they've been holding the murder ball and making sure that they can't reinforce this Desert Altar. Although they haven't done so this time, they didn't have the open field around this Desert Altar, so maybe this Desert Altar is going to fall, and 93L is going to be able to lower that point differential by capturing the Desert Altar, as they just captured the Sky Altar of the opponents. So pretty interesting stuff here. But wow, it does look like there are more 93L marches, but it looks like they're swarming down the open field rather than focusing the structure, which is kind of peculiar. You definitely want to make sure you focus down the structure, get the points ticking as fast as possible to make sure that, you know, like the open field marches are essentially there to distract you in a way, right? Because you want to make sure that you get those points ASAP in this game mode. And yeah, it does look like, wow, they waited to the point where they're able to refresh here. Oh my goodness, is 1188 actually going to be able to hold? No, it looks like the garrison was popped. The garrison was popped. It's Guan Yu garrison, and Guan Yu is not a garrison captain, and it is going to fall shortly. There you go. 93L being able to recapture their Desert Altar, as they also are contesting this top Desert Altar with the Heraclius garrison. Very interesting stuff here. It's getting pretty low. Are they going to be able to take this away from 1188? Are they going to be able to, like, they're doing the circle, so that means there's more than 11 marches. If you're swarming a city in KVK, you understand the vibes. The circle dance that they got going on over here, just circling around this structure to try to capture it. It is a Joan Nevsky for this rally versus a Heraclius with YSS. Gonna be pretty interested to see if they're gonna capture this mid fight. And the thing that's interesting is, I was talking about how you want to swarm this down as much as possible. If you swarm with more than 12 marches, then you start going for the open field, because if you're just walking around, these guys are just walking around, but they're not actually contributing towards anything for this Desert Altar cap, when they could be putting DPS into the people DPSing them, if that makes any sense. So these people walking around are not actually doing any DPS because the Desert Altar is being fully swarmed, but that is actually to their detriment, because that means that those marches are not doing any DPS to the opponents, allowing for the 1188 to hold their Desert Altar. Wow. I guess that was a very, I don't think I've ever seen a team or a situation where they were doing the dance of death, is what they call it, when swarming a city. But for this one, it was definitely a dance to their demise, because they were not able to recapture this Desert Altar or contest this Desert Altar, and they actually lost the DPS because there are too many marches swarming 1188's Desert Altar. We'll have to check what else is under contention here. We have the Sky Altar, which has a Boudica garrison. That is going to fall for sure, literally right now. And then on the other side, we have 93L's Sky Altar, which is getting swarmed down, but it does look like they have enough players to hold this. I would even argue too many players, because the Ark is about to spawn in 2 minutes 30 seconds, and they actually have no open field here. They have no marches, and because of that, 1188 is able to posture, able to position very, very aggressively around this Temple of Osiris. I would actually argue that they could actually be more aggressive and go even more south over here, just directly cutting off the Temple of Osiris, or they could even just fight the Murder Ball right now and just kill the marches as they're trickling in. Very, very, very interesting stuff from 93L. And there you go. As I said, they are starting to walk up, being a lot more aggressive, making sure that they cut off the Temple of Osiris from 93L as much as possible. All the meanwhile, also rallying their structures. They're rallying this Desert Altar. This Desert Altar, I feel bad for the captain of this Desert Altar, because they have been busy. They have been super busy. The people that have been in charge of defending. And there you go. We got a mid fight. They are starting to fight here. And actually, it does look like 1188 going to the death here, popping to the death. So they are going in 1188 with Dust Up and 93L with Heaven's Grace. But they're starting to move back. What is going on here? Some people are fighting, some people are not. They also have Dust Up available for them. So there you go. Both Dust Up, but then one of them has To the Death. Another one has Heaven's Grace. So Heaven's Grace is pretty decent, but it's nowhere near as good as To the Death here. So I expect to see 1188, even though it did look like they were a little bit, they had a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of numbers, especially with positioning. It does look like they are able to clear this Murder Ball, as they've got a Gilga primary. Wow, a Gilga primary. Yeah, I haven't seen that in any of the matches yet. But yeah, it does look like 1188 is able to clear this field before this arc spawns. 25 seconds until the arc spawns here. So 1188 able to have this arc control, but they did lose their shrine at least. But yeah, it's looking pretty dire for 93L, because they needed this arc. I mean, if I'm going to be quite honest, they lost as soon as they lost the second arc, but they could have at least had the morale, had the to say like, hey, at least we captured an arc. But I mean, they do have a march here. They have a march that will take first tap. They were a second earlier, and there you go. The arc is on 90L's side. We'll have to see if that has anything, if there's anything to that. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like 1188 is able to swarm down any of the marches trying to get over there. So 1188 is going to start moving over there you go. They're going to start moving over the arc towards their structures. So yeah, this is looking very, very 1188 dominated mid fights for sure. As I take another drink of water here, we do have 93L again at their own Desert Altar. Oh man, I'm telling you, the Garrison and Rally leads for this bottom team for this Desert Altar have been busy. 1188 very, very disciplined. There's been very like questionable things, like I wouldn't say questionable. It was more so like things that I haven't seen before, where they like gave up mid, they let their opponent use up all their skills, ran away, and then sandwich them later. Like that takes a lot of coordination, and that's definitely one thing that I will say is 1188 kind of had their reins on the match this whole time, where they were dictating the pace, they're dictating the tempo, where the fights are, where the fights aren't, based on where they place the fights. Also having the mid advantage and just walking faster. And when they didn't have mid advantage, they're like, okay, our opponent wants to fight around here. Nope, we're not going to fight them. We're going to start walking away. And their opponents are like, okay, so what do you do now? You know what I mean? Like it's like you're trying to fight someone and then they just run away. It's like, okay, wait, I'm so confused. And then they come back from the back door and just like sandwich you, I guess. I don't know, that's a really bad analogy. But there you go. The arc is uncontested here. They do have all 4 altars. Okay, there you go. They got the Desert Altar back. This is this is the fight zone. The Desert Altar of 93L has been under contention this whole time, and we're gonna be watching it from fruition. Let's look at the battle reports of this. After this garrison falls, because they don't have a garrison in here. Let's check the battle report. Oh, it's so, look, I can't even open it. It's so long. The battle report is so long, the game's not even letting me open it. That's how much battles has been going around. This Desert Altar, literally, when I was trying, switched twice. So, no one's been able to get points from this Desert Altar, which is actually in 1188's favor. So yeah, it does look like 1188 will go get away with this game. They will be able to secure this game pretty handily here. But it was a good fight from 93L. You got to remember, 93L, this is one of their ARC teams. 1093 also has 93T. They have a lot of ARC teams around, and they're a very big, well-organized kingdom. So them fighting and, at least, keeping 1188 honest is pretty impressive. And as they were able to capture the ARC, it is now a 20k point differential between 1188 and 93L, and 1188 actually gaining 350 points to 210 points from 93L. So it is looking pretty dire from 93L, but they are at least trying to hold their structures. And I guess that's something, when you know the game's lost, at least keep fighting with your team. One, it'll build morale, and two, there could be some lessons you could learn, right? Like, this is a good practice for them to, try to make sure that they could hold this Desert Altar as much as possible. And, try to play that game of like, okay, let's try to fill as much as possible, even though we might not have open field advantage. As we say that, this Desert Altar is falling again. For like the 1,000,000th time this match, the Desert Altar is going to go to 1188's hands again. And I guess one thing that I will say is the rallies from 1188 were very, very well coordinated, where each rally I feel had a garrison captain inside of the rally. So once they were able to capture, and maybe that's why they were so disciplined with their swarm, is because they knew if we capture it with a rally and let the rally hit, it will directly like give the structure that we just captured a garrison captain, which is very, very interesting. Because yeah, right now they don't have a garrison captain, and that's why this structure has been going back and forth, is because they haven't actually been rallying the structure, they've just been swarming it down. So because they're swarming it down, the garrison captain will have to walk a very, very long and strenuous walk from their city all the way to this Desert Altar, which is why they've been able to recapture it on 93L side. But it does look like the open field will prevail with 1188. They do have the open field advantage. It doesn't. There are some people walking over it. Oh, are they swarming cities? What is this? Is this a city rally? No, it's an obelisk. They're starting to actually rally the obelisk of 93L here, which is, I'm guessing, where the garrison went actually. Oh wow, I wonder if they're actually going to be able to capture that. Now let's keep our eyes here. Are they actually going to capture the obelisk here? Oh, they were. Last second obelisk capture, just for the lulz, just for fun. Great game played by both sides here. Do they have the garrison in here? I'm gonna guess they do have the garrison in here. Maybe they don't. Maybe the garrison didn't join the rally, so they're just gonna garrison with the Tariq Pakal. I mean, at least it has some anti-swarm. But yeah, they were able to capture their obelisk here. They are filling. Are they filling? Yeah, there you go. 28 seconds left in the game. They're just having some fun here. The outcome is already decided. 19k point differential. So yeah, they're just having some fun around this obelisk, trying to recapture it for the honor. Be like, yeah, at least we were able to recapture our obelisk. Let's go, start swarming it down. And let's see if they're going to be able to capture it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, just at the buzzer, they're able to recapture the obelisk. And there you go. GG's to both sides. 1188 winning with 1188 LV winning MVP with 218,739 points. Huge amount of points. And the differential being the ending points being at 38,000 13,814 points to 19,215 points for 93L. So in terms of total kills, yeah, they were able to get 22 million more kills. 1188 was able to get 22 million more kills than 93L. And yeah, 93L, look how many units they healed. Oh my goodness, 41.9 million units. So they definitely put their all into it. And this was a very entertaining match for sure. So yeah, that is it for this stream. 93L was not able to upset 1188, and 1188 is able to have the 2-0 score, making them the favorites to get out of groups and make it into playoffs and the round of 16. So next week we will have to see if 93L is able to bounce back and win their next game to be at 2-1, making them a contender to be in playoffs, and if 1188 is able to have a perfect group stage record. And that is it from me. Be sure to subscribe to the Rise of Kingdoms channel. I am Plato Gaming, a Rise of Kingdoms content creator and caster for Rise of Kingdoms. So be sure to subscribe to Rise of Kingdoms, as we are going to be having more matches next week at 13 and 15 UTC.